Hey, and welcome to the HopCast.
Thanks for coming back, everyone.
I'm Brett Chmielewski.
My name is Ken Hunnemeder.
Special guest,
Brad Stark.
It's been a while.
Years.
Years?
Has it been years?
Yes.
But you have been before.
Yes.
So, all of you should be familiar with his face.
Not this hair, though.
The face, not the hair.
Not the hair.
All right. Makes sense. So we got a couple Brett beers on this episode.
I love Brett.
Oh, Brett. So we got
some Brett beers for two Bretts.
Yeah, for two Bretts.
Two Bretts. Bretts.
Two Bretts.
Two Bretts.
Okay.
Brett.
So we got Evil Twin, and we got a Stone.
And if you're not familiar with what we're referring to as Brett, it's a yeast that is somewhat wild historically, and the long form of it is brettanomyces.
Okay. Yeah. It's used in a lot of beers lately.
More and more popular.
Fair, yeah.
So it's more of an unpredictable type character to it. Behaves differently. Takes longer to produce certain characteristics, and leads to essentially more complex types of flavors and aromas.
Wild card.
Yeah.
Is there a wild? Someone should have a wild card beer.
Yeah.
So I say we start with the Evil Twin. It's a 4% beer, and then this is a Brett IPA that's coming in at 7%. So it makes sense to move up to that.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Right, let's do it. Hey girl, that poured out pretty cloudy.
It doesn't work.
Doesn't work that? Damn.
Hey girl, poured out real cloudy.
Oh, real cloudy.
Yeah, because he's a smooth, nice guy who's there for you ladies.
Alright, but I feel like it wasn't real cloudy, just sort of cloudy.
Yeah. Hey girl, you sort of cloudy.
You real hazy.
Real hazy.
Alright, there we go. It's real hazy beer. We got a nice little fluffy head there, not kind of off-white color.
Champagne color.
Yeah.
It's looking good. It's just like begging to be
Whiffed. You want to.
sniffed, yeah.
When you got that Brett beer, you
It
want
smells
to
wonderful. Yeah.
All Brett Pale Ale coming in at 4%. So, yeah, it should be nice. We dive it, like, it just smells funky.
Yeah. If you've ever had Brett beer before, I mean, nothing really new here. If you have not, I would definitely recommend giving it a shot and seeing where your palate lies on something a little bit more unique than some of the other beers out there.
Yeah, we haven't tasted it yet, but I feel like this one might be, if you're new to it, might be a little more funky than you want.
It seems a little jarring. Yeah, it's pretty intense with its Brett characteristic.
Yeah. Well, let's give it a taste. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, that's way lighter than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. That's all in the nose. That's all in the nose.
Huh, that's weird.
That's quite nice. It's very very low in body, so light and drinkable. But if you've watched the show before, we kind of strive for beers that are well and balanced. And this beer kind of balances out that just the kind of minimalistic body and malt characteristic, and hop for that matter, with like a ton of yeast. So you're looking at something that's very kind of rustic and grassy. People like to say barnyard or whatever.
But I don't get barnyardy. I get like open feel, like
Yeah, it
meadow.
doesn't feel dirty. It feels like fresh, right?
It's the sound of music.
Yeah, like the hymns on the sound of music.
It's the kind of beer you take
Never
your
seen
girl for a picnic and feel.
And escape the Nazis.
Yeah, exactly.
Here we go.
Yeah. I think this is your second World War II reference of the night.
First one was all candy. I will say that I feel like this is a very good entry into sour beers and Brett if you're afraid of the idea. Like if you're like, I don't think that's something I could get behind. I don't know. Like I think I'll keep doing my IPAs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's mostly in the nose and there's like a tang to it, but it still is mild enough that it's not gonna freak anyone out.
Yeah.
It's definitely mild in the flavor. That nose, I would be, like you said, I'd be afraid to try and win someone over had I not tried it myself, just like smelling it, like, whoa, because it's intense.
You give it to a non-sour beer, like, that beer smells gross.
I mean, you could liken it to, say, blue cheese. Everyone likes cheese, right? Who doesn't like cheese?
Right.
I love cheese.
But, there's certain people that don't like blue cheese. It's a very intense type of flavor and aroma. That said, because it's cheese, there's more people that like blue cheese than like sour beer. So I guess the idea is to get more people into that blue cheese type category.
Have you done a graph of cheese lovers to sour beer?
I have not done the
Is it directly
bubble graph.
Inversely proportionate?
Might need a deck for this.
Yeah, or deck or a dashboard. We need something.
Excel spreadsheet.
Something disruptive.
But so what makes it so that it's all in the aroma? Like hops, it's like a late addition, or like you dry hop it to get the hops and the aroma, like hop. What's making the Brett just in the aroma?
Do you think like they started with like a regular yeast and then later added the Brett?
Typically, that's what you'll do because that's how you can turn around a Brett beer faster. Is you let like a more typical or popular, more well-known strain do most of the work and do it in a few days, and then you can pitch your Brett to kind of finish that beer up and lend that kind of odd or interesting characteristic to the beer. Brett kind of moves at a slower rate than some of your more typical yeasts out there. So if you were doing 100% Brett beer, which people do...
This is all Brett.
Is this a 100% Brett beer?
Well, it said all Brett Pale Ale.
Then there you go.
With citrus peel and citrus juice added.
So if it's an all Brett, then they're taking more time to make this beer, and they're not kind of what I was saying is typically what people would do is use that primary yeast strain to ferment most of the sugars and then add the Brett to condition the beer further. And that just kind of saves more time in production. So what they're doing here is going for 100% Brett, and it's just going to take a longer time
It's surprising
to ferment down.
It's surprising if it's all Brett that it's so mild in that case.
Yeah, it says brettanomyces yeast along with pale 2-row, oat, wheat, and honey malt together with citrus peel and juice added at KO. What's KO?
Knockout.
Okay, and followed by fresh zest with balanced citrus hop characteristics at the whirlpool. All right.
That's a very detailed description for a bottle.
Hey girl. Hey girl.
Most people drinking this beer have no idea what the hell that meant. That meant.
If you picked up an Evil Twin beer, you already have passed the intro beer level. I think.
Most likely, yes, but that doesn't mean you have to have brewing experience. I mean, like dropping a term like KO.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
That's just when you turn your boil off.
Okay.
Like, knock out the flame.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's what that means. But like, how would anybody be expected to know that unless you've brewed before?
I mean, there's a lot of homebrewers out there.
Yeah, but like that's not the main market for the beer.
Yes.
If you're just selling your beer at home brewers,
like
if we go back to the blue cheese chart, lots of people like blue cheese, sour. Home brewers.
But what percentage of like people who'd be into Evil Twin beers and be seeking them out? What percentage of them do you think is homebrewed at one point or another?
Oh God, I don't know.
I feel
15
like
or 20%.
Well, it's semi-high, right?
I mean, probably a good amount of people.
Right.
But I mean, that's not the majority. I think what the home brewers, like maybe why they cater to the home brewers, or they look to them as like more of an influential type.
Sure.
So these are the people who are recommending beers to their friends, and then it kind of cascades from there. So maybe what the reasoning behind it is that they're like, all right, let's speak to these people and let it kind of grow from that. It seems like a little bit of a stretch to me, but I don't know.
But then at the same time, call it Ryan and the what is it?
Ryan and the Gosling.
Ryan and the Gosling.
Yeah. Evil Twin and McKellar, they kind of have this we don't give a shit attitude and just brew beer that they like. And
Even
they
about each other.
Yeah. But it's a great beer. Like, it's really nice.
Yeah, this is good.
It's good.
Well, should we sip on this and then see what Stone has to do? Where they're recommending cellaring this IPA?
Yeah.
Yes, we should.
Yeah.
Do it.
Probably.
All right, we took care of that one. You still got some.
Finish it up.
Now we're gonna go on to the Stone Brett IPA. So they recommend selling this beer and drinking it. Enjoy by 10, 31, 16.
Enjoy after.
Oh, enjoy after.
So this is part of their series of. They first started with a series of IPAs where they say enjoy by.
Super smart marketing.
Oh, it's perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Drink it now.
If it's and they actually, much the same as here, they would put that date on the front label. If that beer stood on the shelf, they would rip it out of there as soon as that date had passed, and they would not sell it anymore.
Right.
So this is kind of taking that idea and flipping it on its end, and saying, all right, now we're not doing the fresh thing, we're doing the aged thing or the cellaring thing. So we want you to buy this beer, and then we want you to wait to drink it until this date. Which also, great marketing. On that date, everyone drinks this beer and posts on Instagram.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It's brilliant.
Snapchat it.
Yeah.
But this goes against our past 2-year theme where everyone's like, drink your beer, stop selling your beer. It's not worth it. It's just like, drink your beer fresh. They brewed it now. Like, for the most part, it's not going to get better. It'll change. It'll be different, but it doesn't necessarily get better.
In some cases, it might.
And this could be one.
It could be. But, this is a brewery that has brewed this beer specifically to be aged. So it's not like just some person like me, once upon a time, like, oh, Too Hard is a 7% beer. I could probably age that. Like,
right.
It's a totally different philosophy.
I've got so many old beers.
Yeah.
I bring them over to Brad sometime. Like, let's drink this old beer, Brad.
I'm like, this tastes like cardboard.
And it always tastes like cardboard.
But this is like, it goes against the alcohol idea, but Brettanomyces lives for a long time. It's very slow moving,
and it eats a lot of the things that typical yeast don't eat, including oxygen. So that's what's going to combat the cardboard flavor that you're going to get, is the fact that there's Brett in this beer.
Okay.
So anytime oxygen's coming in, that Brett is going to eat it before it damages the beer.
Interesting. Okay.
And the Brett is specifically added, it says on the bottle, at bottling.
Yeah, in this instance, it is. So with some other beers, that's not always the case. They can be fermented with Brett and then just packaged. They can be fermented with Brett, more Brett added at bottling for conditioning. Or in this instance, it seems as though it's just fermented with typical or ordinary strain of yeast, and then it gets that pitch of Brett when it's being bottled.
Okay.
So
it makes sense of why you want to cellar this then, so that Brett has time to work.
Well, it kind of leads me to believe that that's where they're getting their carbonation from. I could be incorrect. They could be force carbonating it before bottling, but just adding Brett, or they could be adding or just like straight going from a bright tank to the bottle and adding that Brett in the hopes that it actually carbonates their beer,
Okay.
which would take a little bit. And they say keep this not in a refrigerator so it's warm and the yeast can do it work. It's work.
Because
Yes.
when the beer is too cold, the yeast kind of
Fall asleep. Take a
yeah,
nap.
takes a
Yeah.
nap.
Exactly.
It's dormant. It can't move as quickly. Just like
If
know,
at
we're
all, yeah.
in the winter, we all hang out inside
Like
because
woolly mammoths. They go in the cold and they freeze in the ice, and then thousands of years, and then you thaw them out, and it's Encino Man.
just like the Germans to the
Right. and then you thaw him out, and then Brendan Fraser walks out, and he's wheezing the juice.
All right, let's open this up.
And Hitler.
The earliest it said to drink this was 10/31/2015. So, but they said after 10/31/2016. So yeah,
We're in the meaty part of the curve.
Yeah.
We're a little ahead.
But at the same time, they've conditioned us to be like enjoy, buy. It's like you gotta change up.
So
this
maybe
label.
not so brilliant, but it's a different color.
It's a different
Different
color,
color.
and it's in a big
That's true.
champagne bottle.
Champagne.
Uh-huh. You're conflicted.
I'm conflicted. Should we drink this? All right,
I
let's.
I think we should definitely drink it.
All right, let's drink it.
We're not gonna not.
All right, we got like a pillow here.
Huge head on this one.
I can't even swirl my glasses. Like,
And that's something that you come to predict with certain Brett beers is crazy head like that. I don't know the science behind it. I'm not that smart. of a
What
man.
so? Like, are we getting that from?
I think that's a lot of carbonation, right?
From the fermentation with
Yeah.
that specific strain.
Because it looks like the stuff you see if you've ever been on a brewery tour, like in the like
From the blow off.
wobbling over, like spilling. You're like, ew, gross. Let me take a Vine or Instagram of that.
Yeah. Also, like if you go to like a nice Belgian bar and they pour you a nice bottle conditioned beer and it has this huge fucking meringue over the top, that's kind of what you're seeing in your glass right now.
Yeah,
And
that's
take a big
crazy.
stick and
Yes.
swipe it off. Yeah.
I guess I haven't seen that from like a bottle I poured at home in a long time.
Yeah. You need to drink more Orval, I
Yeah,
think.
I guess so.
I think we all do.
We're apt.
I don't even know how much Orval you drink, but you need to drink more.
Need to hang out with Tom Quarter more. Both all. But
I could see less of Tom Quarter, that's fine.
damn,
Shut up.
I'm just kidding. I love you, Tom.
does it shut
Shut
up?
up.
Shut up.
But I love that aroma, like a lot of citrus. Like it doesn't feel like bright, it feels like almost harsh, but I kind of like it.
This actually feels a little bit Orval-y to me because, I mean, it's an IPA, so it has quite a bit of hops in it. Orval is pale ale, so you would guess not as much, but Orval to me has quite a bit of hop nose to it. I mean, depending on how old it is, and there's certainly great Brett character. I mean, that's kind of like the benchmark for hoppy Brett beer is Orval.
Sure.
If that's what they're going for, which I assume they are, they've done quite a nice job based on the nose.
It smells. I could smell this for hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we need to drink it.
Yeah. We can't do that.
Because our batteries are going to die.
All right. Definitely has a stone taste. Like right away, I get a stone yeast kind of flavor, which you're either gonna love or hate. But it does just have a stone taste.
Yeah, to me, more of the IPA shows through in the flavor
Yes.
than the Brett does, which was kind of the star in the aroma.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, the wild flavor is very mild.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same with the Evil Twin. We got a lot of that funky sour in the aroma, and just kind of got like a clean beer. In this case, we got the IPA.
Yeah.
Very strange. I'm so used to the bread and the sour, like the pucker sour. from Brett beers.
Yeah, I mean, like Brett, you're going to get more on the funky side than necessarily the. I mean, some of them can be sour, which is a little bit weird, but you're typically going to get sour from lactobacillus as opposed to brettanomyces, or some other strains or bacteria out there. But brettanomyces is more so known for the funk and like rustic character of beer. And I'm a little disappointed on the flavor. It's not a bad beer. It doesn't taste bad. It's just like the aroma was just so promising, and then you drink the beer and it just fell a little bit flat.
Yeah, they don't seem to be working together right yet. And we are drinking this before they said.
That's very true.
We
broke the rules.
Yep.
So it might not be all that fair.
I still like it.
Oh, it's a nice beer.
Do you think if they tested this beer, did they like brew a batch? They waited till the date and tried it? Or
Hell no.
Like, think this is the date, right? So they wouldn't necessarily know.
We brewed this Tuesday. Carry the one. Enjoy this after this date.
I mean, we're talking about innovation. Yes, we are. We're talking about innovation on a beer level. So we're talking a couple years.
Yeah.
Right.
Then you bring into the conversation like whiskey innovation, where that timeline is like 12,
6, 8,
15 years.
12, yeah.
Okay.
It's incredible.
16.
Like it's hard for a brewery to innovate with a 2-year timeline, and like just imagine other industries that have to deal with exponentially longer times to age their whatever their product is.
I hope people like whiskey because there's going to be a lot of it in about 6 years.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's so many people drinking whiskey right now that they're just making as much as they can, and hopefully the bottom doesn't fall out on these poor people. I don't know how we got on this topic. It was probably my fault.
Yeah.
But
I'm just thinking about whiskey, like whiskey.
Welcome to Whiskey Can.
Yeah. But it's just brewers are in such a fortunate position where the longest they have on their timeline to innovate is usually like, a couple of years, which seems like a long time. And it kind of is.
Yeah.
But shit, it could be so much worse.
Huh. Interesting. But yeah, so would you, if you picked up this beer now, would you say drink it, sit on it?
I want to see what it's like on the day.
I don't really give much into the actual day, but I would like some more Brett character in the flavor. So
would this potentially,
for that reason,
should it over time come through in the flavor more?
I would guess in the proper conditions that the Brett would become more pronounced.
Well, the hops, like doing an IPA, the hops are going to fall out over time, so you have that going for it. But the hops are very prevalent right now, so then maybe that Brett does come through them, right?
They replace each other.
Like there's the hops are prevalent for this style. I don't think like this isn't. It's not hoppy like a West Coast IPA. You know what I mean?
No.
I mean it's hoppy for kind of like a Belgian style beer, which is not all that hoppy for us Americans anymore. So I'm just trying to paint a picture of where we're at with the hop level. It's definitely a hoppy beer, but I think we're looking for something different out of this beer. It's not necessarily the hops. I think the hops are there.
We're looking for some more funk.
I am.
We're looking for Bootsy Collins.
Yeah. I mean, if I want an IPA, you just get a Stone IPA.
Right. And especially an Enjoyed By, which is a fantastic beer if you want an IPA. The Enjoyed By series.
And this is Enjoy After, but we broke the rules.
We broke it.
So shame on us.
But very fun to see how breweries are using bread and bacteria and just doing different things rather than just like, here's a barrel-aged beer, we threw bread in. Like that.
Right.
Like let's put it in the bottle and see what happens.
That's a good point, because I think this does lead you to believe that they're thinking about this. Like, okay, if we're going to put this date on there, what's going to happen to this beer? Like, and not even that, how do we design it to be that way?
Yeah.
Which is a cool concept in beer. Like, not just we brewed this, let's see what we can do with it, but let's design it to be what we want it to be in 2 or 3 years.
Let's go, yeah. So, yeah. Have some fun. Pick up some other beers that you haven't seen. These are both pretty new beers to all three of us. So, yeah.
Totes.
Give them a try. Don't be afraid of the Brett.
Yeah. Let's get all George Clinton in this.
Well, cheers.
Yeah.